dear learners, I, Dr. Sangeeta Johari, Dean Faculty of Humanities and Liberal Arts, will be covering the module Diversity and Marginalization of the paper Society and Media under the subject Communication Study. Let us understand first the table of contents of this module. We will be covering firstly the learning outcome of this module, which is a very important aspect in the present context, that the learners should understand that what all you will learn from this particular module of diversity and marginalization. Further, we will be getting into the understanding of diversity and marginalization, the integration, the role of media in diversity and the role of media in marginalization, and at the last the conclusion. Let us first understand the learning outcome of this module. The learning outcome covers the focuses on the concepts of diversity and marginalization and how both exist within a democratic society. As we all know that we are living in a democratic society, so it is very important to understand the concept of diversity and also the marginalization. The next outcome of this module is to understand the process of promoting diversity on one hand and how it creates the complications of marginalization through the clash between the forces of heterogenization and homogenization in society. Further, it explores the role of media in regard to diversity and marginalization and how media actually promotes both diversity and the challenges of marginalization in society. Let us now first understand the meaning of diversity and marginalization. As we all know that societies are dynamic in nature and very much complex in nature. And if you see the present modern society, it can never be homogeneous. We all are actually living in an heterogeneous society. So diversity and marginalization as a concept are interrelated. Firstly, we will be understanding the concept of diversity. As per the Patel and Telly in 1982, they argued that diversity is actually an important concept in ecological theory and application. And it appears also in biological, physical, social and management sciences. Further, we understand that exactly the diversity can be seen as a cultural diversity and also as a societal diversity. We also understand by the Millikan and Martins, who explain a common characterization of diversity, and they have done the characterization on the basis of observable characteristics and non-observable or unobservable. Now, when you see the observable characteristic, it is very evident from the age, gender, race, ethnicity and various social groups. And when we talk about the unobservable characteristics, then they are the opinion, attitude and skills. All these aspects are covered. So we have seen and we are seen in our surroundings also that how we are living in a diverse nature. And specifically when you talk about the country like India, it is a country of diversity. Diversity further can be defined as the presence of a wide range of differences and variations among the individual within a group, community, organization or society. And we know that these differences comes in various dimensions, including but not limited to the race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, socio-economic status, religious beliefs and other perspectives. Further, if you see about the diversity classification, B. Kuparik in the year 2001, they have categorized the diversity into subcultural diversity, perspectival diversity and communal diversity. Let us understand the meaning of all these three categories of diversities. If you see subcultural diversity, it actually exists in a shared culture where nothing is to be dominant, but actually the culture exists in subculture. So the main group is not being dominated by anything, but we have the subculture diversity. In perspectival diversity, in which the dominant social order may reject despite recognizing it theoretically or outrightly reject it. Further, when you talk about the communal diversity, and which is very much evident in various countries, and presently we are also observing this communal diversity, it cannot be equated with any other type, wherein the plurality of culture is highly visible and the generation always want to pass it to the next generation. So the communal diversity is actually the dominant diversity on the subculture and also the perspectival diversity. So let us understand the benefits of diversity. As we all know that we are living in a diverse culture, and we are also having unity in diversity. Specifically, if you talk about the country like India, we believe in unity in diversity. So diversity idea is not the idea which promotes any kind of discrimination, but rather it is an idea which gives an opportunity for the enrichment and understanding, because the diversity brings in variety of experiences. Diversity gives a lot of perspectives to the table which can contribute in innovation, creativity and problem solving. Varied cultures, varied caste and creeds have various ideologies, and if we can pool all those ideologies, it will definitely help us to promote the social cohesion and harmony by fostering a sense of unity. Also, in the context of social progress, if you see, diversity is closely tied to the principles of equality and justice. Further, in the marginalization, we will understand that if this principle is not being followed, then how a particular class is being excluded, and that time the diversity is really a challenge. Further, the diversity helps us to exposure to diverse perspectives and experiences, which certainly helps certain stereotypes, thought process, some misconceptions and some prejudices. So definitely the diversity is a tool to support the innovation. The current world is actually talking about the innovation and the sustainability. So if we cater this diversity in an effective way, so definitely it helps us to have the sustainability in our world. We also need to have the policies and the initiatives that promote diversity and also can contribute to a more, not to a more just distribution of resources, but also support a society where all individuals have the chance to reach their full potential. I understand that this is a real challenge to combat with, but as a learner or as an academician, I believe that we are doing it so long, and in our country we are actually maintaining the diversity in an effective way. Now, when we talk about the social diversity, it is in society has been defined as the coexistence of various social groups within the specific geopolitical context, or simply if we put the segmentation of society into distinctive groups, we call it as social diversity. Let us call it the plurality also, the multiculturalism also, the social differentiation also. Interchangeably we are using these words, but still the diversity actually talks about the various social groups which are surviving on this planet. And this social diversity is actually giving a lot of colors and vibrancy to the life. We have seen the way we are celebrating various festivals in our country, and we are respecting each and everyone's emotions and the religion. And that is the essence, or that is the high point of our country. And I personally believe that if we respect this social diversity and cultural diversity, we will be definitely the Vishwaguru in years to come, because that is the biggest strength of our country, to be diverse and to be unite. The impact of this kind of diversity in society we can also see both ways. And presently, if you see the scenarios and the examples to be cited with, yes, this diversity is sometimes really very detrimental and creating a lot of issues and maybe sometimes the situations of wars as well. But overall, if you see, the diversity will certainly help us to support our nation and to support our world in such. Further, I'll be taking the marginalization. As enough I discussed about the diversity, and I have quoted the definitions also of the certain authors who have defined the diversity in their own ways. The problem, or you can say the one aspect of diversity, is the marginalization. The marginalization as defined as the downgrading of a group of individuals on the basis of one or more characteristics within a diverse group. Now, this is the first and the foremost challenge of diversity. As I said, that we are having diverse group, and in that group, if one group dominates on the other, so that other group may get the downgrading treatment, or may get a substantial treatment and get into the marginalized group. The marginalization actually in that particular case, the people are thrown out of the mainstream and not included in the production of the existing system. As per the Peter Leonard in 1984, marginalization is being outside the productive activity. So, marginalization has also been defined as the social process by which certain individuals or groups are pushed to the edges or margins of society, resulting in their exclusion, limited access to resources, and a diminished role in social, economic, and political sphere. It is evident in the present scenario if we take the case of Dalits, if we take the case of tribal people, they are actually the segment of the society which is being excluded from the mainstream. We are also trying to involve them, we are also trying to support them to come to the mainstream. However, the challenges are many to support with. And this process of marginalization has actually taken into deep roots. The reasons are plenty, and we will discuss the reasons why it has taken its deep roots. But the current scenario demands to remove this marginalization as much as we can. And it is also the responsibility of our own group to substantiate or to diminish this marginalization. Actually, the addressing marginalization requires a comprehensive approach which involves challenging discriminatory policies, promoting inclusivity, and fostering a broader societal understanding of diversity and equity. Now, it is really very difficult to change the policies which has been framed long back, and amending the policies itself is a challenge. But still, we try to, and we are still trying, and we are trying hard to remove all those bottlenecks which promotes marginalization in the society. Several efforts have been done to combat marginalization and to create not more just an equitable society where all individuals have equal opportunities to participate and to thrive regardless of their background or identity to livelihood changes. Marginalization has a huge impact on the development and economy of a society. There are mainly two major conceptual frameworks of marginalization, namely the societal marginalization and spatial marginalization. Now, let us understand one by one what is societal marginalization and what is spatial marginalization. If you talk about spatial marginalization, it is mainly the geographical location of the groups of individual, irrespective of its caste, culture, gender. The areas which are away from the power center are normally ignored, and the people living in those areas are forced to be isolated. We have seen various cases in our country, and because of this special marginalizations, various hazardous consequences also we have seen and we are witnessing still in present context. So actually the spatial marginalization is difficult to combat with because the psychology, the ideology of those groups is in such a rigid framework that it is very difficult to break that framework. Even if we are telling them that they are the part of our society, they don't accept that and they keep on doing the deeds as they are doing it. When we talk about the societal marginalization, it is depending on the groups which we have. We also know the system, the group system we are having, the cultural system we are having in our country, and we have classified it in various ways. So the societal marginalization is actually the group of elite and the group of non-elite. And this is what we created on our own, the rich and poor paradox. So we know the people, those who are in power, they always try to sabotage or they always try to dominate those people, those who are not in power. So the gap of rich and poor, if you say, the gap of elite and non-elite, you say, and it also you can visualize that in a very small society as well. For an example, I'll take an example of a particular society where we are living in. There also, knowingly or unknowingly, we create this marginalization. We are not intent to do it, but we do it, and I don't know how it creates. So basically what I believe is because of the mindset also and because of some kind of the power and the impact which is being created by the society, it creates this thing in our mind to have this kind of marginalization. So societal marginalization is generally based on the caste and creed and sometimes on the religion basis, and the spatial marginalization is mainly taking upon the geographical locations. Some of the fundamental reasons for the presence of the marginalization in society are as like social stratification. Just a couple of minutes back, I was talking about this stratification, and who else other than us has created this stratification. We classified the people on the basis of their religion, we classified the people on the basis of their caste and creed, and we classified the people on the basis of their cost of earning, also standard of living also. So we ourselves are responsible in this society about this social stratification. Further, the another very important reason, as we all know, after 1991 LPG liberalization, privatization, globalization has entered into. So because of this globalization process, various technological advancements have been done, but because of that, we actually somehow ignored that part of the country which is not developed, or we call it as underdeveloped. When you talk about the rural, urban and semi-urban, it is also the reason to have the marginalization in the society. We ourselves classified the places as village, because that strata is very very important, but the people who are living in that area, we cannot classify them. So knowingly or unknowingly we are doing it. We are classifying the cities also, like we are saying that I am living in a tier 1 city, tier 2 city, tier 3 city. So that also create a kind of a demarcation among the people, and later on it enters into the deep marginalization. These are my personal experiences which I am sharing with my learners, and hope you must have some more experiences in your minds to describe the marginalization and the reason of the marginalization in the society. Also, displacement is also a very important aspect and the reason of having the marginalization. We have seen, we have witnessed various situations in the country, and when we are migrating within the country, you have seen many of the people are migrating from the states, the students are migrating from the Uttar Pradesh to different areas of the country for higher education. That is an internal displacement, and sometimes I believe in that they are being they are not taking this decision by choice, but if they don't have the venues, if they don't have the venues for the growth, then for their growth and for their personal development, they migrate. They may not want that, but they are migrating. And other also, if we see the migration from the village to the urban areas for earning their livelihood, that is also a reason. And once a person get displaced, it is very difficult for that person to get adjusted with the new environment, and therein sometimes that country, that city may not involve them in their main processes, main streams, and then they feel neglected, kind of thing. And if you see in our country also, there is a huge divide in north and south. So that way you can understand the displacement, how it is a reason of the marginalization. Also, when there is an external displacement, the present situation, you are seeing many of the wars are going on around the world, around the globe, and we are witnessing the reasons why people want to migrate from that place to the safest place. So because of the war or any other natural calamity which is not in our hand, that is also a point of disaster, which also leads to the people to migrate from their own place to the different places. And once they migrate, they lose their identity. And because of the losing of their identity, the another country and another place, as I said, may or may not welcome them, and because of that they feel excluded, and that is how the marginalization gets strengthened. Further, poverty. Poverty in our country is a big issue, and it is also one of the SDG goal also, and we are planning to eradicate this by 2030 and want to have the equity in all the aspects. But I know it is a very challenging aspect, and it is very difficult to remove poverty from the grassroots level. And poverty is actually a very big reason to marginalize the group. As I said, the rich-poor paradox, the rich-poor classification, it is the biggest reason to have this marginalization in our society. Also the patriarchy. And this is the biggest reason for talking about too much on women empowerment and women inclusion and women reservations, because in our country we know that we are living in a patriarchy society where whatever you talk about, how much you talk about women empowerment, still we cannot ignore this fact that yes, our country, mainly our country, I'm talking about our country, maybe the world scenario is also the same, but not exactly. I have the facts and figures to support that argument. So especially in India, we are still having the patriarchy society or patriarchy mechanism in many of the areas, and which is again a very big reason to have the marginalization, specifically when you talk about the women segment. The natural disasters also lead to marginalization. When I lose my own identity, I am forced to get into the new group, and in that new group, if somebody will not welcome me, then I may be a part of a marginalized society. So that is why these are all the reasons for the presence of marginalization in our society. Gradually, we are trying to manage all these reasons. As we talk about the women empowerment, we are trying to remove this patriarchy. We are also taking a lot of steps to remove the poverty. We have come up with multidimensional poverty index also to measure the poverty in a proper way, in a relative way, so that we can understand actually how many people are actually falling into the line of poverty. So these are all the things we are doing to manage the marginalization. Is still a long way to go. The next thing which we will be discussing today is about the media and diversity. Media, mass media, we talk about media we all are aware about is having an integral role in our country, and not exactly in our country, at the global level, media is having an integral role to disseminate the information. The process of promoting diversity requires a continuous and consistent socialization between different social and cultural values. Media, in this regard, is considered as an important institution and a tool which promotes the intermingling of different values within society that can shape the diversity. Actually, if we think about how media is promoting diversity, in a way, if we take the pointers to understand that what is the role of media or how media is promoting diversity, then we can have the certain points to discuss with here. Media promotes diversity in many of the ways. The first way is the representation. We all in present scenario are aware about many of the things like the campaigning, advertisements, various TV shows, special shows, which actually give the information about the various aspects of our society. And it also helps us to challenge the stereotypes, and it fosters a more inclusive understanding of the world. The specific TV shows which we are having on various channels, and presently we all know that we have various platforms, we have OTT as well, we have various channels other than the national channels, wherein we are covering many aspects and many you can say the recent phenomena to discuss with, so that we can make the people aware about the pointers which we want to bring in before them, and also to share the detailed information about the various diverse aspects. Storytelling is in noise. If you all must be knowing about the Nilesh Mishra and also the Gaon connection he is using, and that is also a media, that the way, the biggest way he is reaching to the remote, to the people, to the grassroots level, and also bringing out their problems, their prospects to the mainstream. So this is also in a way I am covering the marginalization process also by the storytelling. So storytelling is really one good way through which the media comes up, and then they share the stories, they share the real case studies, they highlight the experiences of the underrepresented groups also, and of the groups which have done something unique in the society to promote the diversity or to promote the inclusion at a larger level. So that is another a very effective way to promote that diversity, and also to promote the multiculturalism. So storytelling and telling story in different languages is also a very important tool to support the diversity, to respect various languages. The news coverage, media known for its news coverage, and media help to cover the story which actually affect the different communities, and presenting a variety of viewpoints to avoid any biases. Let us take an example of the tribal community, which is presently in too much into noise, and we all know about how we are promoting tribes in our country, and we also know the various leaders also in present context who are leading in our country and they belong to the tribal community. So if we are covering, if the media is covering the various news supporting this tribal community, and various startups also, let me tell you all that they are coming up with to support the underprivileged communities. So that way, if media is covering that, on the one hand they are covering the diversity, and on the other hand they are also covering the part of marginalization and how we are supporting the marginalized society to make it more inclusive and more comprehensive. So news coverage has its own effective way to promote diversity in our country. Further, the media helps to promote the cultural exchanges. As I said, India is a country of festivals, India is a country of colors, and with the help of media, when the media supports various cultures, media depicts the reports of various cultures, and also respecting each and everyone's religion. In a way, it is breaking down the barriers and it promotes the unity. So with the help of the cultural exchange which is being promoted by media, it supports the diversity in the country. The most effective way of the media is social media and online platforms. We all are aware about that how social media is actually helping to bring in the inclusive approach in the country. Parallelly, the social media has its own challenges too, and we have to understand that how effectively we should use social media and the other online platforms to promote diversity. Various educational content is being released through the effective media, print media, the articles, the news articles, the periodicals, and the various reports also coming up to support the diversity, that how our country is covering the diverse ways and making and supporting the economic development of the country. As in the earlier part of my session I said that diversity supports critical thinking, problem solving, innovative capability, and these all are the pointers which we also have covered in our new education policy 2020. Because if we want to have the growth, if we want to have a development, definitely the diversity help us in a big way, if we take it in a positive way. Otherwise it is a really a big challenge to combat with. The marketing and advertising is also an effective way to promote the diversity and also to support the economic development. Now, when you talk about the media and marginalization, how media plays a crucial role in shaping public perception, that is also a point to be understand with, because as I said that media is having a big role. We always call it as mass media, mass appeal. I would like to quote here the program which is being run by our Honorable Prime Minister Modi, Man Ki Baat. Through that programs, he understand the perspective of the people, or rather people understand what he actually wants to deliver, and he take one or the other point and he gets into the heart of the millions of the people. So this is the power of the media, this is the power of the mass media. So that way the media plays a crucial role in shaping public perception and attitudes, and it can either contribute because media plays a role in both the ways. One way it supports or it contributes to the marginalization, because if it is representing in a way, in that way, then it may be a source to create the marginalization. But another way, if the representation in such a way that it is covering the underprivileged communities, it covering all the things, and it is covering the efforts taken by the community and the society at a global level to support the excluded society. So that way it help to increase the inclusion and representation. So here the way media goes with the flow decides that whether the media is actually a support to this mechanism, or it is actually a support to reduce the marginalization in the country or at a world level. So definitely media is having a very integral role in marginalization. And why we are saying it here that media may be playing a big role to create or to be a reason of marginalization, because if in media we are not covering some communities, as I said, if I am not covering the community recently in a very much in noise like LGBTQ community, or if we are not covering the news of the individuals or people with disabilities, or if we are not covering the news of the tribal community or the community which have done something different or something innovative, but if they are not into the mainstream, we are not covering their news, we are not showcasing it to the people, to the mass people. So that way we are actually, or media is rather actually responsible to increase the level of marginalization in the society. However, in the present time, we are not observing the way it is being done, but still it is having a twin role to play. As I said, that media help to support the inclusion in the society so as to decrease the marginalization, and vice versa. Also, sometimes the media misrepresent the things. We all are aware about this, that how media is playing a critical role to create the perception or to build the image in the masses. So if there is any misrepresentation by the media, so that way it will indirectly support the marginalization, and also some stereotype nature also will support the marginalization in the society. Also, sometime there may be the accessibility issues. That means if even the media wants to cover some news, or even the media wants to support some fragment of the society which is marked as the underprivileged section, but they don't have the access, or maybe they don't want to come forward to share their issues to the society. So that may also be the reason so that part is being excluded from the mass appeal, and it may lead to marginalization. The language also is a very important element by the media to be used so far the marginalization is concerned, and also the reporting without any biases. If the media do their role effectively with the proper governance, definitely they will be a helping hand or a helping tool to reduce the marginalization in the society and to give the harmony and existence to all. In nutshell, if we talk about this module where we have covered about the concept of diversity and marginalization, how importantly it is playing a leading role in our country's economic development and also the societal development, the human migration is actually led to a world which is diverse in language, race, class, caste, etc. We all know that we are living in diversity, and it is a permanent feature of any society. Diversity supports development, diversity supports innovation, diversity helps us to grow and help us to reach to the pinnacle of the success. Probable we cater diversity in an effective way. Also, the another aspect of diversity which we have covered is the marginalization, and marginalization needs to be reduced to increase the inclusion in the society. So, if we integrate these two words, diversity and marginalization, we can say that we have to reduce the exclusion to increase the inclusion. We have to respect each other's thoughts, emotions, cultures, and the philosophy, because ultimately we are living on one planet and we all need to support each other to have the growth. Further, we also need to understand the role of media literacy, because if we are working in a mass media, if we are a student of media, or if we are as a layman also, if you are a part of the society, you should also know what to promote, what not to promote, what to share, what not to share, because that is very important. Information once get disseminated cannot come back to you. So how effectively you are sharing, your communication is very, very important. The subject talks about communication. So how effectively you are communicating, how effectively you are passing your information to the other person, that is very, very important. So for the media professionals, media literacy is a very important thing, so that you can optimize the usage of media in maintaining the diversity at one way and to minimize the marginalization in other way, so in to support the harmony in the world. At the last, I will say again that as we say that unity in diversity, and we are living in diverse culture, but we want to and we are unite together, and the present atmosphere and scenario also talks about this synergy. So let us all together respect the diversity and also respect each other's philosophy so that to minimize the marginalization. So I hope with this module of diversity and marginalization, all must have got the insights of the diversity and marginalization and how importantly they are playing a leading role in the growth and the development process. I think that after getting the understanding of these two concepts, that is diversity and marginalization, as a learner, you will be definitely get into this concept, and you will understand that how you will be in your future will support the diversity, will respect the diversity in our country, and we are very much rich in that way, and how you will be doing certain good efforts to remove the marginalization in a big way and to have a cohesion and inclusion in the society. As I always say, the learners and the academicians and the youth especially have a great responsibility to take our country to a next level, and this particular module, as it has given you the understanding of the diversity and marginalization, I am sure that with the help of these things, you will be able to understand the country's aspect in a big way, and you will be able to support our country's growth and development. Thanking you all for your patient listening, and I hope you must have understood the concept of diversity and marginalization.